Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real-world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Stern Truth Business Unfiltered. And I have another special guest for all of you to meet. Sandra, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How about you, Marshall?
I'm doing well. We were just speaking earlier, and it's nice and sunny out today, which it's always out here. When it's sunny, it's a good day.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
So, Sandra, tell us a little bit about your business, what you do, where you live, all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so I'm an interior decorator and home stager. I started my business in 2020, just in the midst of the pandemic. Originally, I was a hairdresser for 29 years, but I was only working part-time in the hair salon when it closed down. So that's when I decided to start Sandra Flora Home Design. But now a little bit of background. I spent several years helping realtors part-time, staging homes, but it wasn't something that I basically thought, it was just a side gig. Hair and raising my kids was my priority at that time. So I don't know, the pandemic hit and my brain just went, you know what, go for it. Jump in and start your own business. And away I went. Yeah. And I live in Tsawwassen. So speaking of sun, it's sunny here in Tsawwassen. It's always sunny in Tsawwassen.
It's always sunny in Tsawwassen.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. As opposed to people who live on the North Shore, which is like North Vancouver, West Vancouver.
Right.
Where it's always dreary. It's interesting. I've met so many people over the last few years, business owners who started just before the pandemic or during the pandemic. How was that?
It was a little nervy for me because I thought, well, first of all, the story is I didn't tell anybody, not my husband, not my family, nobody, because I used to talk about doing this and doing that. And I'd have great motivation and great gumption, and then something would hit and I'd be like, oh, forget it. Or am I good enough? Do I have what it takes? And then I'd kind of fall to the wayside and forget about it. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to start doing some research. And I had the time on my hands. Started looking into building websites. I already had some courses in interior decorating, and I actually was a certified master color specialist. So I thought, well, why not put it all together? So after the research I'd done, I reached out to Trina, who is a marketing specialist, and we worked together on building a website and launching Sandra Flora Home Design. So it happened to be end of January, and I said to my husband, let's go for a drive to White Rock into Charlie Don't Surf. And he's like, yeah, but I said, we'll wear a mask, we're going to go in and do our thing. And I said, it's happy hour, we'll have a glass of wine each. That's when I don't drink now, but I used to have the odd glass of wine then. And so I said to him, here's my phone, Google my name. And he's kind of looking at me like, are you losing the marbles here? And I'm like, just go ahead, Google my name and see what comes up. And he's Googled Sandra Flora, and obviously Sandra Flora Home Design comes up, hits it, website. He's like gobsmacked, like mouth open. He actually got teary-eyed and he goes, oh my God, he said, good for you. This is amazing. I said, I don't know what's going to happen, where it's going to go, but let's see what happens. So, so I'm going to say that could have been, don't quote me on the days, but say it was a Sunday. So on the Saturday of that week, I get my first phone call, and it's a lady in Ladner wanting to hire me to come in and do some interior paint colors, furniture swapping out, and things like that. So, and ever since that, that year was a busy year for me, the year of the pandemic. I think people were kind of fed up sitting in their homes looking at the four walls. They want to change. A lot of home offices, navigate and things like that. So yeah, that's where I was, I'd say, reborn, and away I went running.
That story is amazing. Like, if people are watching this, though, those of you who are watching this on YouTube, if you're listening, you couldn't see it, but on YouTube, you probably saw the look on my face. I'm gonna have to watch back. Like when you the way you told your husband or how he found out about your business is that's an amazing story. It's an amazing story. Okay, so it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
Now.
4 years. Yeah, almost. Yeah, 5 years.
Well,
2025. Yes, yes, yes.
yeah, I know time flies when you're having so much fun.
See? Oh my God.
Because we met. I don't think we've seen each other in person yet, but we've met virtually a
No,
few times
we have. Yeah,
for maybe maybe a year and a half or so.
yeah, yeah.
We were co-authors together
Exactly.
of the
Yeah, we were.
365
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
What have been some of the challenges and this is the stern truth part about running a business. Maybe some challenges, just seriously, like what has it been like? The good and the bad.
Okay, so, well, in the beginning, to run a business for me, I felt like, oh my God, like, am I good enough to do this, to run a business? Um, so I started out and I thought everything had to be perfect. I had to be a perfectionist, which isn't something I am. I'm not a perfectionist in certain aspects of my life. But when it comes to colors and decorating and furniture and all that playful, I love all that kind of stuff. So I decided, let me see, where was I? Yeah, I didn't feel I was good enough with the business end of it, let's just say. Like I wasn't, social media to me was like, what? Like I didn't know the first thing about getting onto Instagram and, all these pages. And so I just actually try to talk to my kids. Hey, kids, do you know how to help me navigate this? So my sons would say, yeah, you got to do this, got to do that, technology, this and that. And I'm like, oh, well, we'll give it a go. So it was trial and error for me. So that was kind of stressful because years ago, I know in the hair industry, or even my whole family, they were come from a long line of decorators, painters, wall covers. They'd have portfolios like in paper, right? You go into someone's house portfolios. Well, today your portfolio is online. So for me, that had to be important that I needed to learn those skills, not just the decorating, the color, all that aspect of what I do. I had to go above and beyond of learning social media, networking, trying to speak in public, which isn't something that I would be good at whatsoever. At least I don't think I am. So there was days where I felt to myself, oh my God, is this worth doing? Right? It was a lot of pressure, I felt. And then, I'd go to bed at night and I'd say, you need to give yourself a little bit more credit. You're doing great. Look at all these people you're meeting, these homes you're going into. These customers are really loving you. So, I'd get up the next day, 2 feet onto the floor, and I'd say, no, get going. Do what you're good at doing. Talking to people in one-on-one settings, right? And yeah, I felt like just keep going, and I have been. And so the challenges I'd say is trust yourself, be yourself. That's so important. Be yourself 100%. And yeah, just jump with both feet in. That's what I done, and I kept going. But like I said, it wasn't easy, and it isn't easy. my business has branched from just going into people's homes and decorating. I work alongside quite a few realtors, getting homes ready to stage, to sell. Like that's one of the person's biggest assets, right? So for me, I take great pride in making sure that home looks fantastic, and I want them to get the best dollar value for the home. So yeah, I feel like sometimes there's a lot of pressure on me, but I always pull it off. And also my business has went in a direction working with builders. That wasn't something where I ever thought it would go. I've enjoyed that aspect of it. I've learned a lot. And yeah, now I'm actually working with some senior home coordinators, which is such joy. It does bring me a lot of joy when I'm going into a senior's home, helping them get ready to transition into their new environment. That's massive, right? For them and for me. How to handle it, you got to be cautious, when you're talking and trying to make them see the bright side and where the rest of the future is going to go. And I try and make it lighthearted, fun. And yeah, I've built great relationships and connections with 99.9% of my clients. Some of them I've even become really good friends with. Yeah. So I don't know if, yeah.
I would imagine, I mean, we have an aging population. So I
Yeah,
would imagine like that, just even the like the retirement communities, the retirement homes, that industry in of itself is a huge opportunity.
it is.
I know my mom had gone in, she the last 7 or 8 years of her life, actually probably more like 10 years, and she used an interior decorator the second time because the first time it was just crazy.
I
Like
know.
she was so confused and lost and didn't know what to do. And
Yeah, yeah.
um,
And just to have that extra set of eyes or to
yeah,
go into the home that they've known for,
yeah,
40 years, it's
yeah,
already emotionally upsetting for them.
yeah.
And like you have to be very careful how you navigate that and talk to them. Another thing I will say, I feel like I'm pretty good at, I should have probably got a degree in psychology because being in the hair industry, one on one, a constant problem solving, all kinds of things like that was
And
my
listen
hey,
and listening,
exactly.
right?
Good list.
That's
Yeah,
a huge skill. That's a huge
yeah,
skill.
yeah.
And I'd imagine they at that stage too, like a lot of people don't listen to them. They don't feel heard. So just to have someone like, yeah,
Exactly. And sometimes they don't want to talk to their immediate families, their children, their personal deep things they want to sound off to somebody that is not familiar to them. It
yeah,
makes them feel more comfortable. And for me to help solve that, also helping them, they don't want to go into that space and have nothing that's familiar surrounding them. So therefore I go in and I kind of help them with what furniture we should take and what new colors and what a new exciting adventures ahead of us, right? We don't want to eliminate everything that they've known and they're familiar with over their lifespan. So yeah,
uh,
that's been very rewarding for me, and I've met some amazing people, directors of several different homes and things like that. So that's been kind of a privilege, really, and an honor for me to end up in that aspect somewhere where I never thought I would go. So yeah,
yeah. Because it definitely takes a certain type of person, like someone like you, who has that sort of that, you know, empathy, heart, warmth, as opposed to someone else who might be really good at the job as well,
yeah.
but it's more, yeah, a little not the same, right? They need
Yeah,
to feel comfortable with the person.
take the time, and if they want to sit and
Yeah,
I've been in situations where I've kind of said to them, would you like to have a cup of tea
yeah,
first, right? And I'll go over to their kettle and I'll put their kettle on and say, sit down, we can have a cup of tea. Because a
yeah,
lot of people think you're there just to direct business and you're there like, time is money. I've heard that in so many different corners and avenues of certain places I've went in and worked for. Well, for me, yeah, sure, my time is valuable, but so is my client. And especially the elderly clients that are in such a place where they're going to be, like I said, leaving the home, leaving everything they knew. Maybe their
Mm.
husband has been passed away. Like they're going through so much. So to sit down, connect with them, have a cup of tea, they open up and they feel comfortable and they trust me. It's gaining their trust, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and I want to do the best I can for them, and that
Mm.
goes for all of my clients. You know, I've had many cups of teas, Marshall. Like, on God,
What if you don't like tea?
I love
Um,
tea. That's a good thing.
it's a good thing. So, and it sounds like, I mean, it's all about meeting your clients where they're at. Like I always say that, and that sounds like that's what you're really good at is meeting your, and I guess even from, being in the hair industry for
Mhm.
so long, you, if you're going to have clients, repeat clients, you need to meet them where they're at
Yeah, yeah,
because it's not about you, it's about them.
exactly. It's all about them, not me. That's right. Yeah.
Too many business owners get that wrong.
Yes, that's it, right? Yeah, it's about them, it's about the client. And yeah, I think it's just about, I think when you open yourself up, a lot of people I think that I've kind of encountered over the journey, I'm not going to say I'm a good judge of character, and I see some people that you can tell right away they're not real, they're not been authentic. That kind of makes the hair stand up on my arm, and I'm kind of like, smile, whatever. But no, these like it's easier to just don't be afraid to be yourself. Like I've learned that over the years. What have you got to lose? If someone doesn't want to hire you, so be it. If they don't like you, so be it. There's hundreds out there that are going to love you, like you, and want to hire you.
Yes. Yes. 100%. I couldn't have said it better myself. But it's all, one of the things I find, I'm going to age myself now.
Oh,
Kids these days, right? But it's okay. My son and daughter listen to this, or they say they do. They do alike. But it's all about now. It's all about instant gratification, and it's all about the relationship now. Like, what am I getting from? I'm not saying they do that, but kids, like the younger generation, it is all
yeah,
about now. They've grown up in
yeah,
this. Everything is now,
yeah.
and some things like what's the old adage like? Good things come to those who
The
wait.
way. Oh, my mother would always say, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Rome wasn't, yeah.
So I'd say that to my kids, right? Well, they're adults, one's married. I've got 3 grandkids now. So I'm really,
You're too young to be a
I know,
grandmother.
Marshall.
Too young.
Yeah. So I would say things to them like, Rome wasn't built in a day. They look at me like I got 10 heads. Or I would say to them, listen, you have to, this is a saying my mom would say throughout the years. And I find myself doing things that my mother done, right, or said. And but I hold this true to myself as well. Like, and she always said, you have to know where you came from to know where you're going. And I hold that true to myself as well. Yeah, you really do. You have to
Yeah,
know where you came from to know where you're leading, right? Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. But kids nowadays, like you say, same thing,
Kids,
right? It's like
kids these days.
kids these days, right? Instant gratification. But at the same time, I have learned, I have to say, from the younger generation, they've taught me so much when it comes to, I look at some and I think, wow, like, as far as social media and as far as all these new AI, everything, like, I'm, what would I say? I would just be, I wouldn't have a clue about any of that stuff, only for the younger generation kind of saying, "Oh, Sandra, you might want to try this or try that," or right. So, I mean, I never learned anything like that in school. We used to learn like type, the typewriter.
Yeah. I know,
I think we had
yeah.
60 words in a minute. I never managed to accomplish the 60 words in a minute type, but that wasn't my forte.
Did you have punch cards? Did you do the computer thing with punch cards?
No, we didn't even have computers.
Oh,
Because
so
I grew up in Ireland, right? So in my
yeah.
in my school, no, we didn't. I think probably when I was about ready to leave to come to Canada, they may have been bringing in the first Apple computers, but I think
Right.
I don't know if they were playing games. Honestly, I can't even remember. But Yeah, it was just typewriters.
I think it was Commodore 64 was a big thing back in my day, and Texas Instruments, they had an all-in-one keyboard with a monitor, but it was all like in computer class. This is like 1983 or 84. It was like punch cards and you put it in. It was DOS or something. Not
I
DOS.
know, yes, yes.
Basic language, and
Yeah, okay.
you had to
Yeah,
punch out things. I don't know what it was.
yeah,
Anyway,
that rings a bell. Yeah,
that
okay.
was
Yeah, yeah.
that was computer science. That was my science for the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, okay, so what do you think in your years of experience in entrepreneurship now? What do you think separates those who struggle in their business from those who, I'm not saying necessarily succeed, success is different for everyone, but from those who, have a good planting. They're there. They're on a good journey.
I think those who struggle, um, maybe it's the best thing would be to kind of try and find a circle or a network of entrepreneurs that are striving and they see them succeeding, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Reach out to those people, go meet with those people. There's no shame and there's nothing to be afraid of, because fear is something that's going to hold you back and you're never going to get anywhere. Because I was once in the situation where in the beginning I was filled with fear and, you know, feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough, or how am I going to navigate if I do go into some of these high society gatherings with these people that have been in business for 10, 15 years. And I just kind of said, walk in the room, hold your head up high, and you know what you're doing. And honestly, those people welcomed me with open arms. They were brilliant mentors as well at the same time. And after getting to know me as a person, that's the key right there. Get to know somebody, their true self, and the trust that somebody has. And they're willing to give you a chance. It's not like the big bad wolf out there, right? I think you just have to go and try and go into those circles, networking circles with those type of successful businesses, and away you go. Yeah, that's
Nice.
kind of what I'm, throwing out there. That's kind of what I done, and
Nice.
yeah.
No, I like that, because it is, we are, most of us as entrepreneurs, small business owners, are alone in our business. Like
Yes.
we don't need to be. I mean, we can have, whether it's a coach or mentor, or what we're talking about is like a network of other entrepreneurs, because
Yeah.
our usually our significant others are not in business for themselves, and or friends, a lot of our friends. And when that's the case, they don't get it. So
No.
we need to go outside of our immediate
Yeah.
circle and build a stronger inner circle.
Yeah. And sometimes you think, like, something I've learned, it's a little off topic, but so when you mentioned your friends and things like that, people that you've had friends for years that you think they're your friends, when you get into business on your own, I don't know. You really learn, and you see who your friends are and who your supporters are and who's going to stand behind you. That's
Yeah.
been my experience. I can't talk for everybody
Yeah.
else, but definitely been an experience for me. And I don't know, like, for me, if it's friends that I, truly respect their friendships and everything, I'm their biggest supporter. I'm in their corner. I'm
Yeah.
pushing the best I can. I'm sending business their way. So I've learned along this journey, one thing is who my friends are and who I thought my friends weren't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. But it also happens like on the personal side, when personal things happen to us, right? We find out
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really who's there first and who our real friends are.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I guess that's just kind of a fact in a circle in life, right? That
Yeah.
it can be put into all aspects of our lives, I guess, not just business, right? Yeah.
Listen, if you go out tomorrow, if I go out tomorrow, I buy a big yacht, I've got a lot of new friends,
You sure do.
right? So if you want to have friends, buy
Absolutely.
a yacht.
Right. Yeah, I need to buy a lotto ticket first.
Yeah. Or you can start with a hot tub. Buy a hot tub. You also,
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, I know.
okay. So I'm curious. before you got into business
Mhm.
compared to now, is there something that you've learned? I know there's a lot of things you've learned, but is there something that it's not true? What I mean is you thought this about owning a business maybe before you went into it, and then you got into it like a surprise, like something like, you know what, that's not true.
Um, so before I got into business, for me, it was a big scary thing. And it was like, oh, that would take so much time, dedication, work, effort, and money. And am I really put out or willing to do that? And I sat on the fence for a while, as we've talked about, but I thought, you know what, if you don't trust yourself and you don't, how would you say, confidence, it's all about confidence. So it's like, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen? Jump in, go for it. And for me, before and to today, I would have to say, been in business for myself has definitely got me out of my shell. I'm way more confident than I probably was for 40 years. And yeah, so I would say, like, for me, it's all about the change would be more confidence and meeting way more people and losing that fear in certain situations. So compared to before I started my business and now, I would say confidence, and that's what it's growing for me, is confidence and a lot of learning along the way. And the fear, I look back and think, oh my God, why was I so scared? Why was I so scared? No, I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm
Right.
saying the fear that we all have, I think, before we're going to take this new venture or do something new, that stops us from doing a lot of things, let alone a business. But I think if you just trust your gut and just kind of, put your foot in the water and go for it.
I like that. Just put your foot in the water and just go for it.
Yeah. And I mean, the water may be a little bit, warm at times, but that's okay. You can swim and wade through the warm water, ruffle out the seaweed.
I love the analogies. But it's interesting because on the opposite side of what you were saying about starting and scary and this and hard work, and I think a lot of people think there's the opposite side. A lot of people think it's easy because they see it, and this is where we were talking about before, like all the stuff on like Instagram and TikTok and all these like influencers and so-called business people who have like built a tremendous business, and it's so easy. Just I'll quit my job and I'll just start this. I'm going to make candles and I'm going to make billions of dollars. I don't know how I'm going to make millions of candles to make the billions of dollars. It's going to be easy. I don't know why I picked candles, just an example.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll become an interior designer or an interior decorator, or I'll become a coach, I'll become a digital marketer, whatever it is. Ah, it's easy. People are doing it all the time. And then they jump in and they find, holy crap, this is hard.
Yeah, it's hard work, dedication. You have to learn to navigate, like for me in the beginning, family, right? So you're overwhelmed with a lot of things. You got to get out there, you got to get clients, you got to learn how to market yourself. You got to build, for me, building relationship with stores, different facilities, builders. I had a lot of, even though I was certified in staging, decorating, and a master colorist, I still had to learn, about, say, carpet, loop piles, tiling, all these jacks of plumbing, like you name it, all these things that for me, I had to gain the knowledge on this to, to be able to go into somebody's home and redirect what it may be, or re-renovate their space. So I wanted to know, also working alongside my contractors, this. So it's not easy, and it's not easy getting out there marketing. You spend a lot of time, I did, away from home, meetings, networking groups, getting yourself out there, building a name for yourself. So no, it's blood, sweat, and tears, I have to say. Like it wasn't like I'd go into the hair salon part-time, say 1 o'clock to 5 or whatever, put my apron on, cut away, chat away for the 5 hours, leave, come home, make the dinner, feed the kids, feed the family. And that was my day done, right? Well, I mean, it wasn't that easy either. Being a mom is extremely difficult. It's tiring, it's taxing. And navigating that, but it can be done, honestly. You have to put yourself first. And that took me many years, many, many years. And I still don't put myself first all the time when needed to be. I don't. Yeah.
That's for a whole other conversation.
I know. Yeah.
It's really, really important. And it's that,
Yeah.
like the oxygen mask analogy, we need to put the
Yeah.
mask on us first. So yeah, it is blood, sweat, and tears. It is hard work, and a lot of people don't see that, and then they get into it and they get scared away, and a lot of people then quit, right? So it's all about like being resilient, being determined.
There were times I thought about throwing in the towel, right? When things got overwhelming.
Okay, so tell me about, before we go, I want to hear that. Tell me about that. How did you get out of that?
Oh, how did I get out of that? So there were times when I thought, oh my God, right? This is a lot. This isn't like ABC. Like some people tend to think, oh, how hard can that be? You're just a decorator. You're just this. Like, no, you're not just that. You know what I mean? You are dealing with, for me, juggling contractors, juggling furniture deliveries, have somebody's biggest asset in the palm of your hands to make sure this project's going to look amazing, make them happy. It's a lot of pressure. And for me, there was times when I thought, oh, would it just be easier just to go back to what I used to do? And then I just thought, no, you've come this far. You've put your 2 feet on the ground. You are doing a good job. Pat on your back. And just keep going, Sandra. Face the challenges. Be yourself. And you know what? You'll overcome the obstacles. And don't be afraid to say you don't know sometimes. Yeah. A lot of people go out there like we know everything. Don't be afraid to look at that person and say, I don't know. That's, and you overcome it. And one day at a time, I just keep pushing. And I also love what I do. My passion is, like I said, making people smile and looking at their face when they see their space, even if it's not a major, just a small refresh or, helping that realtor get that home ready and it sells. And some of the clients where I go in and stage the homes for the realtors, the clients actually hire me for their new home because they say, oh my God, we would have never thought of doing that. Just a little tidbit I'm throwing in there. We would never have thought of doing that. We'd like you to come, your card, hire you to help us transition. So it kind of all trickles down the tree, as we'll say. It just kind of, one event after the next. And like I said, just keep pushing. Don't quit. Don't quit. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so for my last question, that might be the answer, but what would your best advice be for someone who is at a point where they're listening to this podcast and they're like, I don't know. I'm just stuck. I don't know.
You're fed up. You're frustrated. You don't know where you're going. Don't quit. Think why you started this journey. Think why was it that I thought of doing this business? Go back to thinking that and just keep persevering. And like I said, my biggest thing is trust yourself, believe in yourself. And you can honestly, you can do anything you want if you put your two feet forward. You really can, and reach out to people. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Marshall, love to help you. I've no problem with, giving some advice to another entrepreneur. I'm here to build and help support people 100% because I had people do that for me and I want to give back to that too. So don't quit. Keep going. Think why you started.
I love that. It's all about the why. Why we forget why we started. A lot of people forget. Okay. So if people want to get in touch with you, whether it's for advice, pick your brain on something, or for your services, I know we'll put your stuff in the show notes, but you have like a website and all that kind of stuff. Instagram, you got your socials.
Yeah.
People can reach you there. Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe on social media, just in case they're not reading the show notes, how can they get a hold of you?
All they got to do is log on to Sandra Flora Home Design.ca for my website and Sandra Flora Home Design, Instagram and Facebook. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
A little straightforward there.
Well, there, I always say for all of these, for the episodes that I do by myself and the ones that I bring on amazing entrepreneurs like yourself, I always want people to, like my late father used to say, when you go to a networking event or hear a speaker, read a book, if you can just get one takeaway, one, he called it a golden nugget. And I'm sure people have gotten several from this talk with you today. So I thank you. I thank you for being here and sharing your journey.
I thank you for having me, Marshall. It was a pleasure. And I hope I've inspired or helped somebody in some way.
Well, 100%. So I would love to get feedback from everyone. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put the comments or on your favorite podcast platform. If you're listening, please like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And we will see you all again next week with another episode of The Stern Truth Business Unfiltered. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.net. That's marshallstern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.